Why is the Filipino food so bad?
Really? You don't like the ears? This is the pig ears. You have to taste that. You just have to remove.
Pig ears.
Yeah. So you're gonna try this one.
And what do you dip that in?
This one, the vinegar. In the same vinegar where you dip the intestine.
Not sure about that one.
You have to taste again.
That one's kind of,
You don't like the taste?
that's like eating somebody's ear.
You don't like the
It
taste?
doesn't have flavor and it just tastes like eating somebody's ear.
Ew.
No,
I
that one
think-
was a 1. Rating 1.
Really? You don't like the ears?
No.
We all love the Filipino people, but one of the most frequent complaints I hear from other foreigners is that the food is so average. Why is that? To dig into this question and try to find an answer, today we are talking with Carlo and Kun Af, who are restaurant owners in Philippines. It seems like the surrounding countries like Hong Kong, Taiwan, China, and Thailand have really good food, but Philippines is just like, maybe we'll pass. Okay, so I'm here with Carlo and Kun Af in...
Legazpi Park in Makati.
Nice to meet you also.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man.
All right, and we're going to talk about a couple of things regarding Filipino food and what it's like to live in the Philippines, because your wife has lived most of her life in Thailand, right?
Of course, yeah.
How many years ago did she come here?
How many years are you here? 6, going 6 years.
But first I want to ask about Filipino food.
Right.
Why is the Filipino food the way it is? It's salty, greasy, sweet, no vegetables, and lots of rice. Why is that?
So a couple of things. I think the first reason is I was telling you before, we get a lot of influence from the U.S. So it's mostly meat. You guys like meat, but and we the U.S. likes U.S. people likes what do you call this? Fried stuff, you know. So it's all fried, deep fried. So we like using oil in our food. But when you're talking about why a lot of meat and not much veggies, it's because mostly, well, in the provinces, I'm sure you're gonna where they grow veggies, right? You're gonna see a lot of places where they only eat veggies, for example. But here in Manila, you know, here in Manila and other CBDs, it's hard to get vegetables in, most especially during the rainy seasons. Rainy season is latter half of the year. So logistics and everything takes part in, you know, it is one of the reasons why most of the prices of the veggies go up. So the people here would rather just eat, you know, vegetables rather than meat rather than vegetables, because there are certain times of the year when meat is actually cheaper than veggies. And why rice? Rice, you know, fills you up. It makes you, you know, if you're just hungry, you just eat rice. So there are some places actually where they just eat rice and fish sauce or salt. Yeah, that's actually true. You go to the poorer areas in the country, people just eat rice and salt and fish sauce. So
But isn't that very unhealthy?
it's definitely unhealthy, I think. But you know how some people live here, especially the poor people here. They just need something to eat. So if you ask around, there are actually people who would just eat rice and just look for leftovers. Actually, there are the very impoverished areas, they would eat leftovers from the restaurants, and with rice.
But when I go to Rustans down the street here, a block or two away, they have lots of vegetables. But you're still saying they don't buy too much of it because it's pricey?
Most of the time, well, yeah, I was telling you, right? They just want to fill themselves up sometimes, I guess, and that's why they eat rice and they eat meat. Because sometimes, rather than eating meat, rather than eating veggies, for example, I'd rather buy rice because it's cheaper and it's meat, right? It fills you up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of the reasons I think.
Okay, Kun Off, what's your favorite Filipino food?
Sinigang.
Sinigang?
Yeah.
And
Crispy pata.
oh,
Ay!
yeah,
Crispy pata.
gap anan muhang, muhang.
Crispy patay, do they make that here?
Yeah, crispy pork knuckles. Have you tried it?
Oh,
The-
the ones in the bag.
Yeah. Or something like chicharon. You know chicharon, right? It's
No.
the crispy pork. But crispy pata is actually like it's the deep fried pork trotters.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen it in
It's
the
it's
store.
it's big.
It's
It's
in the
usually big.
plastic
Yeah, it's a
bag.
plastic bag that you deep fry it,
Yeah.
and it's crispy on the outside and it's really tender on the inside. Yeah.
I'm scared of that.
Lechon. And
Oh, and
lechon.
lechon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah. According to Anthony Bourdain, right, the best pig in the world, it's
Oh,
lechon.
That's right. Yeah, he says nothing can get between him and that Filipino dish with
Right.
all that fat.
Yeah, with all that fat and the crispiness, and we love our pork here.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but pork is good in the Philippines, I have to admit, even though I'm a vegetarian.
yeah. We know how to cook our pork actually. Yeah. So one of the staples actually is just the deep fried pork, which I think we do pretty well. Yeah. Sorry for you.
And it has a lot of calories, so it would fill you up.
And cholesterol. Yeah.
So, Kun Off, what do you like best about living in the Philippines?
What's good in the Philippines?
เธอไปให้ฉันก่อน
I'll translate for her. That's how.
อะไรนะ บอกว่าอะไรนะ
What's good in the Philippines for you?
อ๋อ
มาใช้ชีวิตที่นี่
ชอบอากาศ
อือฮึ
เพราะว่าสภาพอากาศจะคล้ายๆกับไทย แล้วก็อะไรดีอะหมดแล้ว
Yeah. So she's saying the weather is pretty much the same in Thailand,
แต่จะเย็น
but
กว่า
it's cooler actually because in Thailand it
Oh,
gets
really?
pretty hot. But yeah, it's almost the same. It's tropical. What else?
แล้วก็
คน
คนก็จะมีเขาเรียกว่าอะไรอะคนก็จะเป็นมิตรน่ะ จะเป็นมิตร
She's saying that people here are very friendly, very open. Yeah, I was telling you the same thing, right? When it comes to foreigners, I think she would know. When she goes to the mall or she goes to the grocery, people really help her when they know you're a foreigner. So yeah, helpful and friendly.
แล้วก็จะมีเกี่ยวกับเหมือนเวลาเราทานอาหารจะชอบคนที่นี่ที่แบบว่าอาหารที่กินไม่หมดเขาก็จะสามารถให้เขาเอากลับ แล้วก็สามารถเอาไปให้คนอื่นได้โดยที่คนอื่นกินแล้วเขาไม่รังเกียจ
One thing that she found interesting actually when she was living here was that people would actually take away the food that if there are leftovers, they would actually take it away. Then they would find someone to give it to sometimes if they won't eat it for themselves, right? Like I do it a lot actually. If there's some leftovers, if I order a lot, for example, I would bring it home and probably give it to the guards or something. In Thailand, it's actually a no-no. You wouldn't do that. I mean, if someone knows that if the person you're giving knows it's leftovers, they would actually feel offended. But here, people are actually happy sometimes to receive this.
And she likes that.
And she likes that about here. Yeah.
What about the not so good about Philippines? What are some of the things that you noticed when you first came here that was not so comfortable for you?
โอเค
มีอะไรที่เธอคิดว่ามันลำบากสำหรับเธอหรือว่ามันไม่เคยโอเคสำหรับเธอตอนที่เธอมาอยู่ใช้ชีวิตในฟิลิปปินส์
อย่างแรกก็จะเป็นเกี่ยวกับคนมันก็จะมีคนหลาย ๆ แบบทั้งที่มีแบบเฟรนลี่อะไรแบบคนดีอะไรอย่างเงี้ยใช่ไหมแต่ก็จะมีกลุ่มคนที่แบบเหมือนขโมยเงินอะไรอย่างเงี้ยถ้าเราไปเดินตามถนนเนี้ยเราต้องระมัดระวังตัวจะมีกลุ่มเด็กอะไรอย่างเงี้ย ที่มาอยู่ที่นี่ก็จะมีเพื่อนหรือว่าคนรู้จักที่เคยเจอแบบเด็กกลุ่มเด็กๆอ่ะที่มาล้วงกระเป๋าหรือว่ามากระชากของอะค่ะ
I'll translate that one first. So she was saying, with regards to the people, of course, there are different kinds of people as well. Even if you're in the CBD, most especially if you go to other areas which are not so okay, right? Of course, you should always take care of your belongings. So there are some cases wherein it's actually kids would steal stuff from you. So those are some of the things that she thinks is not so good sometimes. There are some areas, right? Not like in Thailand. I'm not sure now, but in Thailand you leave something, you leave your stuff on top of the table, and you forget it. You come back, it's gonna be there. Here it's not the case. It's never the case. So yeah, that's one thing.
อธิบายเพิ่มเติมเพราะว่าแบบเหมือนเด็กๆอ่ะเราไม่คิดว่าเขาจะแบบทำได้อย่างเงี้ยแต่ที่เนี่ยคือเด็กเป็นเด็กที่จะแบบว่าขโมยเงินหรือว่ากระชากกระเป๋าอะไรเงี้ย
Yeah. So so of course there are those kinds of people everywhere, right? But she was saying here it's kind of what's kind of shocking. What's kind of for her is it's kids. So most of the time you would see kids, it's a group of kids. And they would just, you think they're just playing around and just suddenly just get your stuff. So, from her perspective, these are kids. They're innocent, and they're the people doing these kinds of things. So it's kind of shocking or surprising for her. Yeah. So yeah.
เพราะว่าเงินมันอ่อนลงอ่ะ เงินของที่เนี่ยจากเมื่อก่อนมัน0.7ถ้าเป็นเงินไทยใช่ไหมเรทแล้วเราเงินส่งเงินกลับบ้านเนี่ยมัน ค่อนข้างจะแบบว่า
I'm not sure if this is actually a negative for the viewers. This might be actually good for the viewers because you're coming in and you're going to be bringing foreign currency in. What she's saying is one thing that's negative for her is she's working here and she has to send money abroad. And exchange rates are sometimes really bad. Philippine peso is lower than Thai baht. So there are times in the year when it really gets bad. It's like she's working a lot and she's spending and she's just spending a lot of money for number one for the exchange for the currency exchange, and then the fee to send the money abroad. So she gets a lot less. So so that's one thing. But for the viewers, if you're coming in with US dollars or pounds, that's better for you, I guess. Yeah, right.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. But so she's very traditional in that sense. Filipinos also, when they come to Manila, they send money back to their families in the province, but they don't have the exchange rate problem.
Right.
But I guess she does.
It's the other side of the coin, right? Yeah. So
อินเทอร์เน็ต อินเทอร์เน็ตที่นี่แพงและช้า
This one I agree with.
เธออธิบาย
Okay, so one thing she hates actually about living in the Philippines is internet. So mobile internet and even DSL, it's pretty expensive. It gets pretty expensive compared to other countries, most especially the Western countries or even Thailand. The rates are super high and the service is not so good. It's getting better, but yeah, still not so good. Yeah.
Now that's true. But she should be glad she was not here 10 years ago when I first came here. That was even worse.
Even calling abroad, right? When you didn't have the likes of Facebook and Skype, if you had to call, she would know. She wouldn't know. But for me to be able to call her when she was in Thailand before, I had to spend a lot of money. So that was crazy. But now at least you have Facebook and Viber and whatever. Right?
Kamusta?